Putting together a promotional campaign for the release of an album, movie, TV series, or really any major piece of entertainment is considered both necessary and vital. These campaigns can range from simple to extremely complex, with varying ranges of success. In 2007, one such campaign now feels borderline prophetic for those of us currently living through 2021. I'm Think So Joe, this is Things You Might Not Know, and today, Trent Reznor predicts our dismal future in year zero. Nine Inch Nails is without a doubt the most popular band to come out of the industrial rock scene of the late 80s and early 90s. Started in Cleveland, Ohio in 1988 by singer and multi-instrumentalist Trent Reznor, the term band is kind of a misnomer for Nine Inch Nails, as Reznor was the only official member all the way up until 2016. Of course, Trent couldn't do literally everything on his own, especially not live shows, though I'm sure that's not from a lack of trying. Throughout Nine Inch Nails' run, a revolving door of musicians filled various roles within the band, some of which would go on to be pretty successful on their own. A great example of this is Richard Patrick from the band Filter, who briefly played guitar in Nine Inch Nails. Over the 33-plus year run of Nine Inch Nails, they have sold in excess of 20 million records, have received 13 Grammy nominations, and just last year were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a pretty staggering feat for music that my parents dismissed as noise back in 1994. I'm not going to give you a full recounting of Trent Reznor's career, as that's not really what this video is for. If that's something you want to know more about, let me know in the comments. The fifth full-length studio album from Nine Inch Nails, titled Year Zero, was written and recorded by Trent Reznor and produced by Atticus Ross in 2006. Unlike previous Nine Inch Nails albums, which contained lyrics and themes that were more personal and reflective, this new album was set to be a concept album, with the purpose of calling out the evils of the American government. This was not an uncommon artistic direction at the time for artists who were holdovers from the 1990s, but still remained very popular into the aughts. Heck, if Green Day can do it, then really anyone can. And before you start furiously typing that angry comment, I'm not suggesting that Trent Reznor ripped off Green Day. Both albums are great. But we can't deny the trend that's staring us right in the face. While he was still in the writing process for Year Zero, Trent described the album in an interview as part of a bigger picture that included a few things he had been working on at the time. It didn't take long for the bits and pieces of this bigger picture to strategically show up in what seemed to be the most random places. In February 2007, a tour shirt was released with the highlighted letters spelling the phrase, "I am trying to believe," which was also registered as a website URL. As more tech-savvy fans discovered additional related websites which all contain parts of the fictional story of a possible dystopian future, 42 Entertainment came out and stated that they created these sites in order to promote their alternate reality game, Year Zero. This game was created as a companion to the new Nine Inch Nails album. The fictional story of Year Zero takes place in the United States in the year 2022, also known as Year Zero, to indicate the year that America is reborn into a Christian fundamentalist theocracy. Fighting back against the oppressive government is a group of rogue scientists who transport a series of websites back in time to 2007 to warn the America of the past of its bleak future. I think when I'm done recording this, I need to give this album a quick listen and see what we're in store for. The game for Year Zero was spread out between a series of websites, emails, MP3s, phone messages, and murals, all containing material related to the story contained within the Year Zero album. It was essentially a comprehensive virtual scavenger hunt where the deeper fans dove in, the more the game expanded, as it relied on player participation. Another vital part of the promotional campaign for both the album and the game was a series of USB drives hidden within a couple of the venues on Nine Inch Nails' 2007 European tour. Drives found in Lisbon, Portugal and Barcelona, Spain contained hidden messages and songs from the upcoming album. To the surprise of literally no one, the early song releases spread on the internet like wildfire, leading the Recording Industry Association of America to issue a bunch of cease and desist letters. No one really got in trouble though, as Interscope Records had sanctioned all of this. In an interview with The Guardian, Trent talked about the USB drive portion of the campaign, stating, The USB drive was simply a mechanism of leaking the music and data we wanted out there. The medium of the CD is outdated and irrelevant. It's really painfully obvious what people want. DRM-free music they can do what they want with. If the greedy record industry would embrace that concept, I truly think people would pay for music and consume more of it. After pre-releasing a couple more tracks from Year Zero, including the singles Survivalism and Capital G, the remainder of the album was leaked online by an unknown source. This part was definitely not okayed by Interscope. Instead of fighting against this, the decision was made to release Year Zero in its entirety on the Nine Inch Nails' official MySpace page. After the album's official release in April 2007, it sold more than 187,000 units in its first week and peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Top 200. Year Zero would be the last album that Nine Inch Nails would release under Interscope Records, with Trent announcing in October 2007 that they had fulfilled their contractual obligations and would proceed from there on out, independent of label representation. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching Things You Might Not Know. If you enjoyed today's video, please leave a like and a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I post a new video. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you can see a playlist of Things You Might Not Know videos over here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time!